how you doing? Hey, what's up everyone? This video is going to be on my KTM 790 Duke, as you already know. I'll be telling you about my experience with the 790 and what I like and dislike about it. I'm not going to go into any of the technical specs, you could look that up or find it out yourself. First I'll just start off by washing the bike and talking a little bit about my riding experience. I've had my license for about 2 years now, and here in Australia they have a learner scheme where you can only ride basically 50 horsepower, no more. So I started out on a CBR 500. It was a great first bike. The power delivery was very smooth and obviously not aggressive, being that it was only 48 horsepower. It was easy to take the test on. You know, being a learner's bike, obviously it's not going to be anything amazing, but it was a good bike and I was happy to ride it. One key thing about it is that it was extremely reliable. I think I sold it, eventually had close to 60,000 kilometers on it. I never had an issue with it for when I owned it, which is a good segue into the 790. So fast forward about a year and I buy a brand new 2018 KTM 790 Duke. Straight away at its first service, they find that it's leaking from, I don't know, 3 or 4 different locations that they had to change seals on. Long story short, it took months for them to rectify this, in and out of the shop, kept leaking here and there. Eventually it started running poorly and wouldn't start, and just a whole bunch of issues they could not sort out. So eventually, after dealing with KTM Australia, they offered to take my bike back and replace it with a brand new 2019, which is the one you're seeing now. I had about 6,000 kilometers or so on the one they took back, and now I currently have 1,500 trouble-free kilometers on this one. They claim a lot of issues have been fixed on the 2019s, so fingers crossed I don't have the same issues or any other issues with this one. If you're in the market for a used or leftover 790 Duke, go for the 2019, do not get the 2018. Well, enough with that whole horror story, and let's get into why I love the bike and I didn't just throw it off a cliff in frustration when I had all those issues. One of the biggest things for me was the price. Comparing it to something like an MT-09 or the Z900, they were all within a few $100s brand new of each other. With the 790, you just get everything. There's no shortage of electronics or power or anything like that. It has it all, whereas the other bikes, they were lacking in some areas. Another key factor for me is the looks. I know that's subjective and not everyone's going to love the looks of it, but I absolutely love it. I think it's very aggressive looking, sporty, which absolutely fits the character of the bike. The engine is one of the best things about it, really, is aggressive and sporty. Like, it looks like exactly what it is. Awesome usable torque that's not going to get you into a lot of trouble because you want to, go 200 kilometers an hour on it. Even though it's a little bit on the taller side for me, I can still reach the ground. It's not an issue. The size of the bike alone is pretty compact. It's very narrow, extremely easy to lane split with, which I absolutely love, because on just when you're commuting and everything, it just makes it so much better. And again, if we're comparing it to other bikes in its class, the suspension on it is really good. I mean, it's plush enough yet stiff enough when you need it. It's not adjustable, but you got preload in the rear. Let me try to throw in a few negative comments about it. Again, but nothing is really that bad in my opinion. The bike can run a little hot. I don't know what other bikes are like really to compare it to, but with the catalytic converter right there by your legs, it gets quite hot in the summer. Not that big of an issue for me, but there's that. Stock tires, well, they're alright if you're doing commuting and everything. If you're riding a little bit harder, maybe you want something different. This one's a big positive, actually. The headlight is absolutely amazing at night. I love it. It has to be one of the brightest lights on a motorcycle there is. As you can see, I have the aftermarket bar and mirrors on it. They look really good. Functionality is not too bad, but they don't vibrate, so that's good. As you probably know, it's got an up and down quick shifter. It works well. You have to be obviously revving it a bit higher, so it works better if you're racing it, not for everyday just sitting in traffic kind of use. There's a preload only adjustable shock there. The pillion seat is quite large. I don't really carry a pillion, but if I did, that's a good thing about it. It's not like one of these little skinny things that you can't have anyone on the back of. The brakes are quite good as well. Not having too much to compare it to, except for my CBR, which obviously these are 1,000 times better. Also, you'll notice that I haven't done many modifications, just the mirrors and the rim stickers. I didn't want to put a tail tidy on because I use it to commute, so if the rain splashes up, I want that to protect it. Stock pipe, I think it sounds really good stock, and anything else is just obnoxious, so why waste the money? Here we're just going to flip through the display and all the options that it has on it. You'll see that I have almost 1,600 kilometers on it now. Again, which is almost 7,500 total with my other bike. Just had its first service 500 kilometers ago. I usually ride it in track, but I had the throttle response in sport because the track throttle response in everyday riding is quite snatchy. It's good if you wanted to ride it aggressively, but again, for everyday riding, I just rather have it in sport. It's plenty good at throttle response for that. Yeah, the traction control, that's always on. I leave the settings on, I think 6. You could change that in the other menu. ABS, you could turn it on and off. As you see, I'm having trouble doing that. So now the rear ABS is disabled, so now it's called Supermoto mode, so you can slide out the rear. Quick shifter I always have on. And the shift light, I think I dropped it down a little bit, but yeah, got a shift light on it. It has adjustable clutch and brake levers, stock, so that's always good. I'm sure I could sit here all day talking about the bike, but I'll wrap it up with basically saying I love the bike. There's really not too much I would change about it. It's a shame that I had those issues with the first one. It left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that there's nothing wrong with this one. If you get a chance to go out and test ride one, please come back. Let me know in the comments how you liked it. If you've already ridden one or you own one and agree or disagree with something that I've said in the video, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. I know everyone's going to have an opinion. I'm struggling with the key here. Anyway, that's enough. This has been Jersey Joe. Ciao for now.